Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Scooter Charles Outdoors. Today we're going to tell you about what's probably the best deal at Walmart on any fishing equipment, and that is Strike King Pro Model jigs. Now, if you bought the jig just by itself, it's like $3, $3.50 I think. You get this. Let me open one up for you, if I don't cut myself. There we go. Okay, you get the jig and you get 2 Rage Craws. So Rage Craws are expensive themselves. We're going to rig one up, and then I'm going to show you a way to take this jig into multiple different types of jig. This is just a pro model. You see the head here, regular Arky style head, can come through anything. It's a do-it-all jig. I really wanted to commit this year to fishing more jigs, and a couple years ago I really got after it with jigs, and these popped up, and started catching some fish on them. Didn't have a lot of confidence in jigs, but like anything, you've got to go out on the boat and just commit to it. So I made myself last summer really go out and just nothing but a jig, because I knew if I had another option I would go that route. So we threaded on there. Make sure you stay nice and center. If you go a little too far, that's okay, but we kind of nailed that one. So here's, I think, one reason why people don't fish jigs a lot. If you look at this, that's a pretty big profile. That's a big bait, and I know big baits might catch big fish, but you also want to get some bites. And you know, when you're throwing this around, it could be a little intimidating, not only to you but to fish. So that's a big bait. Now, if you look, we're going to go from that. I'm going to show you how to do that to get it down to this. So same box of jigs, but you can see much different in size. So just a little bit of trimming, you go from this down to this, and then one more. Get my jig rod off here. This is how I really like to fish them, is we take and we go all the way down. You can see that one, it's got some paint knocked off of it and stuff from just throwing it around. But check out that goes almost to a finesse jig. So you could call this a finesse jig here. That's on 15-pound Bass Pro Shops Excel fluorocarbon. So you can really get them out of there. But check that out, small jig. Look at what we started with. This started as that big right there. So look at that. I have way more confidence. So if you want to get started in jig fishing, go to Walmart, get you some of these little kits here, and look at that right there. So let's take this one down. Get a bag so Mrs. Coach Charles don't get upset with leaving jig hair, she calls it, everywhere. Just take this down, separate the top and bottom of your jig. You know, it don't have to be super exact, but you can see that right there. We've got a top and a bottom. Top. I really, you know, be careful, find out where you like it, but you can always cut off more. You know, you can't put more back on. So I usually start with about a thumbnail length and see where that gets me. You know, definitely a lot more off, but I want to get real finessey. Now this is a 3/8 ounce jig, so you know, about the perfect size. You can throw it on a bait caster easy. Now your bottom, in fact, we're going to take this Rage Craw off, because we've got to do some trimming on the Rage Craw too. So we're going to take this, and then anything hanging below the hook we're going to trim too. Okay, now look, we got nice little spider jig there, and these also rattle if you can hear that. So now take your rage crawl. We're going to cut about 2 sections off. So we're going to take that right there. Dang, these rage crawls smell good. No wonder bass love them. So now pull your weed guard back. It's almost like a rage chunk now that you can buy. Come through straight. Now check that out. Look what a nice finesse jig you got. That's awesome. So once I started throwing them this size, as you can see right here, once I started getting to that, the bass kept a-coming. And I see why everybody had jigs on their boat. So like I said, a couple years ago, I really wanted to commit to jig fishing. And this year, there was always a jig on the deck of the boat. So guys, go to Walmart. They got them in black and blue. They got them in green pumpkin. They got a couple other colors that come in these kits. You got to look down at the bottom. There's going to be a box of them. Here's a black and blue that's been trimmed up pretty good. So guys, you know, don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate everybody getting on board with the channel. And don't forget, there's always time for one more cast.